Okay, folks, I hope we're back up after that interruption with the connection. Hopefully things go well or better this time. See if we can't jump back into Dominion. Yeah, hopefully we'll get a decent group like I had before, where they were just player versus environment people and not player versus player people. It's the player versus player people, when they come over with that experience, bring level 2 bots and level 3 bots, which, like I said earlier, it's just not my bag to deal with. It's not worth the fight in a lot of ways. For me anyway, it's like I said, I'm in my 40s, deal with chronic pain and use gaming to help me cope with that, so I don't sound like a broken record with that, but it's going to be people out there that may not have heard my situation or the reason why I have the time to give to this thing like this. Yeah, hopefully the samurai can hold these territories, because if so, might just come out the winners of this round 2 of season 2.
You captured Zone C. You lost Zone A.
So far so good. It's like these
You captured Zone A.
level 1 bots. At least that was a level 1 bot. Sometimes you can come across a mixture depending on the experience of the player versus the PvPer, and how many PvPers are in a PVE environment like this. Yeah, but to me, to interpret, like I said, the level 1s is like, you know, as long as you're not doing something stupid, you know, you can pretty much win with the level 1s, you know, and if you're even doing just the basics correctly, you know, which you get to learn in, you know, your basic aspect of training and the advanced training, you know, you're not too fixated on doing something. You're not paying attention. You're paying attention to what the enemy's doing, so you can respond against it. Like I said, just basic. You'll win more often than not. Even if you get outnumbered, if you take your time, and I mean really take your time with them, because nowadays, this after season 2, the enemy AI will volley you with their hits a lot better than they used to, a lot more than they used to. Not so much better, they didn't used to engage you the same way in a ganking situation the way they do now. Like I was saying before, it's almost like a call and response to the way the players fight against the AI. They don't tend to go at the situation straight up. They tend to either want help, or help is going to come whether they want it or not. See, like this, I don't need help, but he's going to help me nonetheless. You know, and a lot of times you don't have time to go, I got this, go in the middle of a fight, because you're just going to get, you know, hit. And if you're fighting the enemy AI, I mean, it, you know, it's, to me, I think it's a little bit different than player versus player, because the enemy AI will, they're going to, you know, your input commands before you even see them. So if you're dealing with the enemy AI and then you get another teammate coming over and help you, you now also too, that ruins your honorable kill score or count or points, because you get more points when you have a one-on-one fight. But the enemy AI tends to get fixated on one of you more so than the other, and if he's fixated on you, the other person can attack it damn near to death, and it's just going to sit there and wait for you to do anything, and it's going to have a counter for it in one way or another because it's outnumbered, and the enemy AI kind of gets you know, in overdrive, so to speak. Oh, really? So, you know, to me, sometimes depending on the situation, when somebody comes over and helps you, it's almost, you almost might want to be a little bit more defensive, and just let whoever's trying to help you or think they're helping you do what they're going to do, because, you know, you'll wind up just getting hit. Oh, she just don't want to fall off the edge, do she? Fine, don't fall. But yeah, to me, I find it, like I said, enough challenge to deal with. The AI, they do a really good job programming them. I think before the broadcast it got interrupted earlier, I was explaining how the AI will bait and switch you. You know, they'll come to the outside the zone and stand there and watch you and try to pull you out of the zone and take away your zone multiplier. They'll you know, they'll leave an enemy dead in another area, and knowing, you know, thinking that you're going to go for the enemy to help you know, your ally, excuse me. They'll leave an ally dead, and they're like, you know, they know you're going to try to help them. As soon as you do, capture your objective. But yeah, I mean, see how the team isn't controlling C. That's actually the instructions. They say, you know, you win points by kills, true, but by controlling the objective. I mean, I wish they would mention that first rather than second, because I'm not even sure people even realize that point sometimes. I mean, I think they feel like it's like capture a flag or tag your it, like, I got the base, I'm gonna leave, or, you know, it's like, no, you gotta control the objective. That means stay in it, get that zone multiplier. I mean, it's kind of funny. I've actually been at the top of the scoreboard with no zones or objectives taken and no kills, but because I was controlling an objective, I got mad points. But you can see that lasted 7 minutes 30 seconds. If everybody was controlling the objectives, at least the main two, which in that case were A and C, you can get it done definitely in under 6 minutes, like 5 minutes 30 seconds really, or less. Now if you can control the battlefield, then definitely under 5 minutes. But the battlefield is kind of almost bad temptation for a lot of people, because you know, you don't get objective points for controlling it, number one. Number two, you don't get point multipliers per second. You know, but you do keep the other team from gaining that 100 points, you know, towards their goal. And also too, you can, you know, keep your enemy soldiers, you know, in the field alive, and they can keep the enemy distracted. So it can speed up the time, whereas you can get out of a Dominion match in 3 minutes 30 seconds if your team is all, you know, is squared away. But it sometimes requires a degree of patience, which some folks are struggling with. case anybody wondering, no, my normal look. This is what I like to run around with mostly. It's not that epic looking per se, but I don't know. I have simple taste. Devil's in the detail. um, but yeah, I was just kind of working with the theme of the character for the Centurion. It seems like they are working on an aspect of the Chimera, which is a combination of one or two more things. In this case, with him on his moveset, it describes a lion and an eagle. So I just tried to work with that. But what's interesting is that the Centurion's weapons and the design work on the different armor types, show you that you can kind of come up with just about whatever concept you want to or lack therein, based on a Chimera sort of principle. Some of a Centurion stuff has like a cheetah print, tiger prints, and there's like snake references in regard to like the board, and then there's the ram, and they kind of represent like the fish or something like that through the mermaid, which is interesting. But then it's like the headpieces show you other aspects like the minotaur, the bull, half man, half bull. But, all these are kind of examples of chimerism or chimerism, however you might want to pronounce it. But it's one or two more things are spliced together. I don't know. There's an anime called Full Metal Alchemist, which was mad cool. We used to go into all that thing. Blaming folks who might not be into genetics. Chimerism actually does exist in real life, though, with people. I mean, some people are born where they've got more genetic similarity to aunts and uncles than they do to their own parents. Anyway, that's another story. But yes.
You captured Zone C.
Yeah, with this outfit though, it was kind of difficult to figure out. Like for me, like I said, the devil's in the details, so it's simple. So it's not a lot of extra flash per se, but just simple put together. I wanted to try to get the Centurion looking as slim and trim as possible, and this was pretty much the best outfit for that, in my opinion. I added a lion engraving and the eagle engraving, but you got to get that rep, get those. That was part of my incentive. But yeah, it's like to lose my base multiplier and run down there and try to help him would not be advantageous to win. And like I said, the enemy AI will just come and take the base, and you're doing this ring around a rosy thing, where, unnecessarily. But yeah, if you're going to be running around out there in the battlefield, in my opinion, it's good to kind of use some tactical sense about the situation, and you might need to do a tactical retreat, go get some help. I mean, it's funny when just the bots are in here helping me out, I'll see a bot do more strategically advantageous things than most normal players. About 80% of the normal players won't go to a base and get some health and then run back down there and do all the killing. But they just get sort of fixated on doing whatever, and I think they think that it's going to passively happen for them. But yeah, we got a teammate got ganked down there, but. God, this sucks. Dude. Yeah, I mean, people talk about it. These servers, I mean, it's just sad that this kind of shit happens. I mean, it's so disappointing. So disappointing. I'd say between the server connection issues, players being, I don't know if the right word is antisocial, because, I mean, we are social creatures, so I mean, is there really such a thing? But yeah, that in a lot of ways is antisocial, but I should say it's incivil. But then again, there's no real law per se in how to conduct yourself in these games either. I don't know, either way, players just acting wild, put it that way, can be an issue. And then dealing with different level bots that you aren't, you know, prepared to deal with or in the game to deal with. Like me, like I said, I just play it to help me cope with chronic pain, and I'm not trying to deal with a lot of extra weird ass drama or feelings of inadequacy. Fighting a bunch of level 2 and level 3 bots. I mean, like I said, I can deal with level 2 bots one-on-one, but you know, in this Dominion mode, it's very likely you're going to get ganged up on, you know, by two or more from nowadays, and it's just a consignment to misery. I'm just not that kind of sadist to the game's masochist there. You know, I'm not into being the gimp, but you know, some folks, you know, find that sort of circumstance challenging. My aspect is that you are challenged fighting more than one level 2 bot. You are challenged fighting a level 3 bot. And what that means is you are handicapped. That does not mean you are running a race with 2 legs, bro. You're running a race with 1 leg. Because them bots, you know, will know to the plank's infinite second time of, you know, what your button input is, and it's going to decide what it's going to let you do. Especially when it comes to the level 3s. The level 2s aren't quite that bad. But yeah, I mean, to me, the bots are far more capable than any human being. Especially when you're outnumbered, because of the way they can coordinate their actions. You know, multiple human beings could not coordinate their actions so readily as the bots are able to do. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. But I've seen some wild shit. So yeah, hopefully this is a good group, and they're holding it down, and they're not PvPers in PVE for whatever that reason could be. It could be taking a break. It could be I want to level up before I go back to PvP. But either way, my best advice to people out there is, if you're going to play this game, do not PvP until you level up and get a grip on the game. Because if you PvP initially and then go start playing PvE, your bot experience and your to me, joint, it's going to drastically be different. As well as finding the right character for yourself is important. For me it was, because the wrong character was a miserable experience. It was my survival rate was terrible. You know, I like having a decent KDA, and you know, just for my own merit, because in my opinion the level 1 bots for me is being over 40 is challenging enough. I mean,
you captured Zone C. Enemy team is breaking.
I'm fine up there. See his signal.
The enemy rally.
Got a couple over here with a bad internet connection. Hopefully the signal holds.
You lost Zone C.
See, in this scenario, I don't have a holding. I tend to go to whatever base is away from where most folks are. Because generally, if they're near objective, if they're not holding it down and they over, they'll. Ah, shit. But when it's too far away, it's.
You lost Zone A. You Enemy team is breaking.
But yeah, if it's far away from where they tend to be focused on kill, and you know, it'll take them a while to get to it. And some objectives, depending on where they're located on the map, to where the enemy spawn may get picked on more often than the one that's further away. So if you're out maintaining it, I think it's almost better to get to that. But like this map is kind of like that. C tends to get picked on a little bit more, so A, and then also too, our spawn point is close to A, so if somebody gets taken out, they can go ahead and recapture A and go down C. But you know, because I'm in it to win it, you know, I'm not too worried about competing out on the scoreboard. You know, as long as I do well and I help the team. So there's times like C, for example, on this particular map board here, they you know, C tends to get a little bit more action than A. So you can typically, you know, by holding down the objective and getting your base multiplier, taking out whatever enemies come up, you can tend to get a little bit better of a score than somebody just holding down A. But it just depends. I mean, sometimes the AI gets low on for A. But either way, you know, it's about getting it done. You know, so this team here, you know, 6 minutes 25 seconds. That to me is still taking too long. I mean, it, you know, under 5 minutes is where you want to try to aim. I mean, 5 minutes 30 seconds is kind of my okay point. But do I need an extra gun? No. But yeah, see, I was focusing up here earlier, but this here went from 53% down to 51%. Looks like we got 5 minutes and 40 seconds left. So if the team's good, we can at least put something up before the round changes over. Let's see what happens. Let's go. Let's rock. I think I'll pull out some of my fancy clothes. But yeah, all my gear stats are the same regardless of which character I'm using out on. It just seems to suit me best to have them set up the way I do. Especially for the Centurion. I mean, he kind of helped me figure out where best to kind of place things at. But I like this look here. Like I said, the whole chimerism aspect is throughout most of the styling of the Centurion. This one here, I'm more focusing on the ram and the lion. I just like the pieces kind of came together. I think I added some effects to this one. Most of the time the effects almost distract me too much away of what I'm trying to see, especially if you're outnumbered and you're able to get off an execution or something and got some weird going on. It can throw me anyway. See, like I said, season 2, the game squad on bots has been far more
Lost zone A.
prevalent. Oh, bro. Let me back up. Yeah, because you can easily get knocked over. Like I said, the enemy AI get fixated on you versus your ally. Any little move you make, they'll find out a way to hit you into the pit. At least the level, they'll hit you into it. Level 2, they'll throw you into it. I don't know what you're doing. They've got options. But level 1s definitely won't hesitate to knock you into a pit. And they use what I call in the game, I don't ever hear anybody talk about, well, I don't know, I don't listen to all the broadcasters or whatever. And I don't read all the forums, but I call it the invisible hand. When you move around, you have an automatic tracking and targeting in a way that engages when you go into your lock on. And so when I'm in this mode with my lock on, as you can see, I'm doing my directional block guard around. If I move right, my enemy will move regardless of whether they want to or not, in a manner to still continue to face me. So say like the enemy was in, so say if the enemy is like facing like this direction, if I move this way, the enemy would almost, regardless of whether they want to move or not, will actually position themselves to deal with how I'm moving. So if I move in a way where the enemy's in front of me, but then I move and reposition myself, it'll automatically pivot the enemy, you know, close to the edge. The enemy AI at one time back in season 1 was using what I was just describing as that invisible hand far more often than they do now, but they still do use it. See, I knew he was waiting for his fucking boy, asshole. So yeah, when you're outnumbered, you just need to take your time, and hopefully I will still live through this. Tell the tale. You need to take care and be patient and when to release your shit. See, I'm not gonna activate it just yet, just so go right with what I'm doing here. See? Yep. There we go.
You captured Zone C.
But yeah, this is level 1 bots. I mean, to me, that's hard enough, bro. I don't need all the extra bullshit that goes down. I mean, you know, that's tense enough. I mean, like I said, it's an enemy. It's knowing what I'm doing as I do it. It doesn't have to guess, or it gets confused when because it's programmed to get confused at this level. And see, I got see how the AI is still fixated on me while the allies are just slaughtering it. And what's interesting is you think that that's almost stupid, but most players actually act that way when they're fighting more than one AI or more than one enemy. You know, they'll just get they'll fixated on, like a horse with blinders, man, just tunnel vision all up on one enemy while the other one's just whacking and hacking away at their back. And so it's interesting how the programmers, I think, almost mimic our actions with the manner in which they program the AI. Oh, really? Just slick like that, right? So, a little late, buddy. You steal somebody else's kill. Go on, go on, go on. I got it. Go, go. I tell you. Yeah, most people have a pack mentality where they don't feel confident. I don't know whether it's confidence or maybe it's the thrill of the gangbang. I don't know what it is, man, but you know, they just can't seem to do something on their own half the time. I mean, and it's funny, especially with these level 1 bots. Yeah, got some folks down there in the distance scrapping. Yeah, I was waiting for the to really pull this outfit together with the line engraving on the shoulder. See, the outfit actually comes with line engravings on the knees. But when you get to, I think, rank 20, rep 20 or whatever it is, you get the line engraving. I think it's 20. I don't know what it is, whatever. It's one of those higher reps. Yeah. Pull the ensemble together. But yeah, they're not. There we go. We got somebody at C. Just make sure. Get a little bit of shield action. See that we got somebody at C. I like I said, the whole skirt feet still in, or at least before I know. Okay, we're gonna go do this.
Incontinent.
But yeah, in case anybody didn't know, level 1 bots don't go into revenge mode and they don't use feats. Level 2 bots will, of course level 3 bots. I feel personally that's a bit of an issue. I think level 1 bots should use feats and go into revenge mode, but the manner in which they deal with you with the revenge mode and the feat should be equivalent to dealing with a level 1 versus level 2. I think completely, dumbing down the experience that much isn't too positive, but because you're kind of ill prepared when you face a level 2 going into revenge mode and using feats on you if you're PVEing. But yep, it looks like yep, Samurai won round 2, it looks like. Yep, so Samurai 1, 2. Let me back out of this here, hold on. There we go, there's the tally. Round 2, Season 2, Round 2 results. Knights came in 3rd. Vikings came in 2nd. Samurai came in 1st. Wow. Vikings actually had the most in war assets. Luckily, we did not tie with them on territories. See, war assets will win a tie in territories owned, but war assets will not win you the round nor a season, apparently. But unless there's a tie, and if there's a tie, then that's a different story. But yeah, because I finished the season and the round, or rather I pulled out of the minion match after the round 2 season 2 ended, it only shows my last asset deployed, but somewhere in the information it's got all the previous shit that I deployed, which everybody saw. So yeah, that's where we're looking at. So luckily the Samurai are in the run to hopefully win this season. We'll know soon enough. It's all about contributing equivalently to in regard to the numbers that you have in each faction. And a lot of times when factions get too many folks that aren't contributing enough, then that's when the faction suffers. I mean, it suffers immediately. Because I noticed it during the entire, when school was letting out for different folks during this, when summer vacation starting, different people would get the game or sign up for the game, and we get new players in, and if a faction got too many new players that weren't contributing enough, you immediately saw their territories losing, and generally the faction that had the least amount of players that were still contributing the most would wind up dominating. So yeah, I guess I'll end it here. Thank you all for viewing, and I'll be back again.